Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone's having a great week. Today, I really want to talk a little bit about meditation, why this has been so key in my life. Okay, talk about it a lot, and I'm always like pushing it on you guys, and there is a very good reason for that. So, we're going to talk a little bit about meditation, how it fits into maybe your overall goals for personal development, as well as making big shifts in your business. Okay, so overall message today, guys, is you have everything you need inside of you right now to make the change you want to. Okay? The big disconnect that comes is that we tend to look outside of us for the answers rather than within. And I was guilty of this for a long time because I used to be the person who, if I had a question, I'd run around to everyone and ask them their opinion. And then at the end, I'd kind of consolidate the consensus and kind of feel like whose answers do I feel really pulled to, and which direction do I kind of want to go in. And I'd use other people to kind of get feedback. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I put way too much emphasis on what other people thought and not enough on what I really wanted. And so what I see happen all the time is, and what I really felt myself, was that I was putting a lot of effort into creating this image of who I was and what I wanted to be. And so when I'd ask people their opinions, I kind of wanted to know like what was going to make them happy. What did they really value so that I could try and live up to those expectations. And I created this kind of protective shield of what I thought people wanted, and I held it up in front of me so that I could interact with the world in a way that I knew would make other people happy. But what I felt was this huge disconnect between who I really was and this image that's projecting through this shield that for me helped me feel safe, even though it was very flimsy shield, because I knew that almost any point someone could tear it down and they would see who I really was and they would realize I wasn't perfect. So in order to get to this place where we know what we really want and we are guided by our intuition, we need to be able to put the shield down. We need to be able to accept our flaws, accept that we are not perfect. And even more than that, we need to like integrate them and let them be a part of who we are. I'm just checking my notes here to make sure that I'm on point because this week has been crazy with house things. So don't mind me if I'm like darting back and forth. So I want you to imagine for a minute that this is a little bit like when you can think about it like a shield. I love that metaphor, but you could also think about it like you're trying to walk around with this ball and chain connected to you that you want to disown, whatever this piece of you that you don't like. For me, I always felt like I wasn't smart enough. So if someone would say something to that extent or be like, oh, well, you're wrong, that really hurt me. And so I was always trying to be well educated and learn as much as I could. So I didn't get into those awkward moments where I felt like someone was calling me out on not being smart enough. So for me, I tried to disown this idea that I was not smart enough. And it was almost like I kind of was pushing it away, but at the same time dragging it around with me wherever I went because it was always getting in the way of me being able to just interact with people. Because I'd always worry, like, did that sound smart enough? Or, oh, I just stumbled over my words, I sound stupid. Like, and I'd beat myself up about it. So not only did I not like it, it was impacting my life all the time. It was always there, like this cloud hanging over me. So if you think about this piece of you that you want to disown, almost like this bowling ball on a chain that you're dragging around with you, right? And you are wanting to go like run as fast as you can somewhere, right? Whether it's with your business or taking a relationship to a next phase, and you're gung-ho, you're moving forward and pretending like this ball doesn't exist. But in the meantime, it's tapping your energy, right? It's not letting you run full force forward. Now imagine for a moment that even though you don't like this part of you, that you at least pick the ball up and carry it as you run, right? How does that change that experience for you? How is that going to allow you to shift your energy? How are you going to be able to run faster now that you've at least picked it up and you're carrying it? Now imagine that instead of just like trying to drag this ball that you've picked up, you're carrying this piece of yourself that you don't like. And now you accept it so that it's not even something you dislike anymore. So it's not even a ball and chain, and it just disappears. It disintegrates. And now you're just running as yourself. How much faster are you going to move? How much more energy are you going to have to do the things you want to do, right? So when we can integrate these parts of us that we don't love and accept at first, we are able to fly, guys. We can fly because so much of our energy goes to that stuff, even when we're not actively thinking about it, right? When we are able to look within and see what's wrong, that we think is wrong at least, and see what we don't like and say, okay, I don't love it, but that's who I am right now. And I'm working really hard to make change, and that's awesome. So I do love who I am right now. Even though I'm not where I want to go, I love who I am right now. I can accept and respect who I am right now. That's when we get real change. So the way I was able to learn to do this was through meditation, because we're always running around and we're not really paying attention. We're not super conscious about our thoughts and our feelings. But when we start to sit and reflect, that's when big change happens, right? So it's not crazy complicated action, guys. It's being really, really intentional, and it's really simple, okay? So when I had my big breakthrough moment with integrating this piece of me that was all about this idea that I was stupid, it was about a year ago, and a family member called me out on something, and they said, like, you know, you should go get another degree. Clearly, like, your 2 degrees aren't enough. And I was really hurt because it was like they were calling me out on my thing that I hated about myself. I was like, oh, I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. And I was really upset. And so that evening I was by myself in my room, and I felt all these feelings come up, and I was like fighting back the tears. And in that moment, I had been meditating maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And I thought, okay, like, this is a good time. Let me just sit with myself and process this emotion. And I sat down on the floor, and I just started saying to myself over and over again, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And after maybe 10, maybe 15 times, tears just started running down my face. And I released this image of who I thought I was supposed to be, and accepted that, like, I'm good enough as I am, damn it. And I love me, and this is where I'm meant to be. Like, this is who I'm meant to be. This is my path. I'm tired of seeking other people's approval, and I'm tired of trying to be someone I'm just not. Okay? And I felt this just wave wash over me, and it was like all the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. I didn't have to be something anymore. I could just be me, and it was so freeing. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because that clarity and that feeling like I'm enough, and integrating that piece of me that was like, no, you're supposed to be smarter, you're supposed to be more creative, you're supposed to be blah, 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 all these different things. When I was able to just say, like, no, I don't need to be anything else right now. Like, I am okay. I'm okay right here. It freed me up to release that energy that I was wasting trying to pretend, trying to hold up my shield against the world and say, like, no, I am perfect. And I was able to spend that energy getting really serious about my business. I was able to spend it starting to share my message and be vulnerable and tell people, like, it's okay to have anxiety. Like, I had anxiety, and this is what I've done in order to be able to get into this place where I'm relaxed and confident with who I am. And so meditation, guys, meditation has been so key, because it helped me to, when I was in pain, look within rather than to blame or to look outside for clarity or peace. It all started to come from within, and that's when that confidence and power came out. And so that's why I say, you have everything you need. You're probably just looking in the wrong place for the solution, right? Because the solution is within you. And if you're like, well, I don't know, I'm uncertain, I'm unsure, sit with it, because the more time you take to listen to yourself, the more you're going to realize that you do know what the hell's going on, you do know what you need, and it's just starting to trust in that process and listening to yourself, okay? When you start looking to yourself for validation, for love, for clarity, that's when things take off. That's the big transformation, right? So if you really want to make an impact and share your message, then this is your next step. We're going to dive into this even more in the 5-day challenge next week. It starts on Monday. And we're going to talk about gaining confidence so that you can share your message, get visible, and start gaining clients for your business. Because again, the number one thing that's holding you back is all this energy that you are expending trying to look a certain way and trying to be a certain person to other people. And when you're able to just drop that, like let go of the nonsense and get really clear about what you want and take action in that way, that's when you start getting the results you need and that you're dying to have, right? Because you're not putting up that shield anymore. You're not spending energy being defensive and trying to protect yourself and trying to be something else, right? You're going to be able to share your passion with everything you have and be vulnerable and share the mistakes, because that's what people connect to, right? So the link to sign up for this challenge is below. It's going to be a live challenge, 5 days, and we're going to get really in depth into this entire process. But again, if you want to start right now, meditation is your key. Go ahead and click the link to sign up, and then you're going to start getting more resources right away for this. Okay, guys, I will talk to you later.